Meteorologist Joe Bastardi with an edition of examining whether or not there's fair and balanced reporting when it comes to uh, heat wave hysteria and hype and global warming. And don't worry, I'm not going to be staying on this video with this face here for much longer. Let's take a look at what happened in Europe during the merry month of May. Now, what is grabbing headlines now? This outrageous heat wave in Europe. I mean, it's a very bad heat wave. There's no question about it. But look at how cold it was during the month of May. Did any you hear me talking about, oh, that's a sign of an ice age coming, right? Now, look at Europe over the next 5 days. It's a lot of warmth, right? But look at Scandinavia. The area of cold in Scandinavia is almost as great as the area of warmth across Europe. And look at this very cold conditions relative to averages further east and further south. Now look at what happens in the day 6 through 10 period. The cold it's just outrageous. Now, do you think that and you notice this cold here, I believe, is outlining the Black Sea because the Black Sea temperatures are below normal. And then you see we go out to day 10 to 15. But what's going to continue to grab the headlines is and have people say, well, this is a sign of global warming and blah, 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 planets blowing up, will be the warmth. They'll totally ignore what's going on, which is actually significantly larger than the warmth, the geographical area of cold. All right. So if you're looking at the entire planet where people are living, the cold and warm, the cold and warm are about equal. Now, there's been a lot being said about how warm it's been in Miami. And of course, we had the big heat wave in the West earlier, San Francisco, people screaming and yelling about that. But look at how much of North America has been cold this last 30 days, right? So why, if you're objectively reporting on things and how bad it's getting, why are you just running to one thing? Because you know that if you report a counterweight to it, people will actually start to pay attention to the fact that this isn't the end of the world that's going on here. Now, back in early June, I said, when all that cold air was coming, I said, I like the looks of the end of June, beginning of July for some heat in the Great Lakes, and here it is. And there you can see what it is in the 6 to 10. It's right in time. My point is that when you forecast the weather, you get to see these things going on, and it gives you a balanced look at the big picture, right? If I got to make a forecast for an energy company, tell them there's going to be above normal cooling degree days in the Great Lakes and Northeast, I have to be able to look at everything that's going on, right? And so if you're looking at everything that's going on, you understand that what you are seeing here in this climate debate is a one-sided push based on an agenda. There's the month of July being forecasted cool again across much of the United States. And I think this is too cool. I think you'll have a core cool in here, and it'll be nice and warm out here, and Texas I think is going to heat up, and I think the East is going to be warmer than normal. But the point of the matter is, this is all nature. Now, I want you to think about something, okay? And let me just get back on camera over here. I want you to think about it. See this cap right here? This is my buddy Kyler Sanderson. If you're in Utah and you feel like wrestling, stop by the Sanderson Wrestling Academy, okay? So there, he gave me his hat. I wear it all the time. All right, well, anyway, where was I? That's a good question. Well, no matter where you go, there you are. Let's say the entire planet is 0.2 to 0.3 Celsius above what it was in 1981. And let's say most of the warming, a lot of the warming, a good portion of that, is in the wintertime in the polar regions. What does that say for the rest of the planet where people live? It just means that the warmth outduels the cool by a little bit, but the cold is still there. It's not like we're in some kind of, it's being portrayed as some hellish heat hole that the earth has gone into. And so it is propaganda. All right. Now, am I absolutely positive that I'm, right about CO2 being so minimal. I'm not absolutely positive. I state my beliefs, right? But I dare you to go ask a guy on the other side of the issue, is there any way you could be wrong? And you see why there's a different balance here between guys like me who say, you know what, I've seen myself be wrong, perhaps I could be wrong, and the other side who don't forecast, who just sit back and research stuff. And when you research, and it's extremely valuable. I use what they do all the time, but you don't get a feel for what is actually going on a day-to-day basis. And when you've looked at it through for 40 years, you find yourself saying, okay, it's a little bit warmer now than what it was overall, but there's still a lot going on. Heat waves and hurricanes are not a sign of an atmospheric apocalypse. If you're going to say that, then all this cold I've been showing you is a sign it's going the other way. I don't believe either. Okay, I believe nature is nature, and we're well within the cyclical norms of what nature does. All right, you have yourself a nice day. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you've got.